Hey, how you doing? And welcome to another episode of Technology Tuesday. I am your host, Greg Russell, and today I will be doing a show sharing with you guys behind the scenes of exactly how we set up and run Technology Tuesday. My good friend and co-host, Mr. Jerry Franklin Poe, is out traveling this Tuesday, so he won't be with us today. So we wish him traveling mercies. It is a busy season for him, and he's out there doing his speaker guru thing. So travel safe back, and he will be back in the studio with us again next week. But for today, I'm going to be sharing behind the scenes of exactly how we set up and run this show. We'll be sharing with you the tools, the resources, and all the equipment we use, as well as some of the insider tips and secret strategies that we use to be able to bring to you live Technology Tuesday on Tuesdays. So with that, we are about to dive in right now. All right, and thank you for joining me here today. So I'm excited to share with you guys exactly how we do this. We have a pretty nice setup. We don't have the most robust setup, but this is nice setup for what we do, and I'm going to enjoy sharing with you exactly how we do it. So with that, I want to talk about some of the equipment we have. Few weeks ago, I was on a show with some guys, and we was talking about the technology and the equipment, and it dawned on me that some of the stuff I hadn't been updated in a while. So I spent the last few weeks trying to just update some things here, and so I can't wait to share with you what we got. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen right quick and run through some of the equipment because we're not going to spend too much time on that, but I want to share with you what we got. So first of all, the computer that we are using to run the show is a M4 Mac Mini. For many years, we've used a MacBook Pro and then the M1, and recently we upgraded to the M4 Mac, which was came out in 2004, and they're about to release another Mac Mini coming up in the fall of this year. There'll be a newer one coming out. But right now, this is the one that is probably the most popular and hard to find on demand. It was very challenging for me to find one because of all the inexpensiveness of the Mac Mini and how popular it is. So people can have AI agents running on their machines and not actually tied into all their other stuff. So they've been scooping them up. But that's what we're running here today is the M4 Mac Mini. For the audio, we have a Audio Technica 2020. If I was getting a microphone today, if I was in the market, I'd probably pick up something just a little bit uh, better than this one. But this is what I have in the studio, so I'm sharing with you what I got. And I've had it for a number of years, but this is what I've got. The other thing when it comes to the audio, because we know audio is so important to video, you want to make sure you have good audio. And with that, the microphone is one piece, but how you get it into your computer is another piece. And so the thing that I have set up for mine is a Focusrite Solo. Now, the Focusrite Solo, I have the third generation. They do now have out the fourth generation. So if I was getting one, I would look at the fourth generation. But this is the one I have, and it is allows you to plug in a XLR cable, so it is plugs right in to that, and then this allows you to control the gain and the volume going into the computer, as well as if you're listening on headphones, headphones there. So that's basically what I'm using for my audio is the Audio Technica and the Focusrite. All right, and so the other piece to this is the camera, and so what we're using here today is a sorry about that, guys. We are using the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. This is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. It is new. It's one of the newer pieces in the studio. And right now, at the time of this broadcast, you can check it out for, you can obtain it on Amazon for $199, and it regularly sells for $249, so it's $50 off right now at the time of this broadcast. Okay. So that is the equipment that we use to basically stream this show. And so to make it come live and to do all the things like the intro and the logo on the screen, we use a software called Ecamm, right? And Ecamm is it's a Mac only software, but it's a software that allows you to do the live stream, it allows you to record, it allows you to set up scenes. It can be as robust as you want it to be to have a full live production like the one we have, or a simple, straightforward streaming platform. And so I really like it. We've been using it for the past few years, and I've checked out quite a few of the other ones on the market. We've used quite a few, testing them out, figuring out which ones. And when it comes to you and your production and your being a creator and creating the content you want, you have to find the equipment and the software that works for you, right? You can't listen to everybody who says this is good, this is the best, unless it's good for you. If it's not good for you, what's the point? So if you're on a PC, there is software that is similar. OBS is a open source free software that is available for the Mac and PC. So if you're on a budget and you want to get started, you can grab OBS. You can Google that. And I did use that at one point early on. So don't let anything stop you if you want to be able to create a show and get going. These are the technologies out there that you can use. In addition, I got one more piece of hardware that I'd like to share before we dive into how we set it up inside of Ecamm. And that is the Elgato Stream Deck, okay? So boom, this is another piece of hardware we have, and it allows us to switch screens, scenes easily by hitting buttons, add sound effects by just hitting a button, so I don't have to look at all the things on the screen. So we have the Elgato Stream Deck. So that is the hardware that we have, and now we're going to dive into actually using Ecamm. So before I share with you the screen and all the stuff going on behind the scenes, know that you don't have to have everything going at one time. You allow it to grow into the point where you're comfortable, and that is the point of having this live stream. Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. I got a couple of buddies of mine tuning in. Ruben, thank you. Alvin, thank you for joining us, man. Appreciate you guys for checking out the show. So I'm about to share what I got going on, and I'm going to build the scenes that you're typically used to seeing with me and Jay, so that you can see how it's actually done here behind the scenes. So with that, I will say this. It is not difficult to be the talent on screen and the producer running things behind the scenes if you grow at a pace that you're comfortable with and knowing what you want to be able to create. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share. So you're about to see the full screen, and I've opened up all the windows so you can see kind of all the stuff, and I kind of will remove them as I go so it can be more clarity. I will give you this slight warning. Don't be overwhelmed. Like I said, I opened up all the windows so you could see. So I'm about to share with you guys what's called the demo mode. So you can see everything that I see on my screen on your screen. All right, so here we go. All right, so we're going to turn this on. Boom. So now you guys should see everything that I see. So right here we have the preview mode of what the landscape version is, and then over here we have the vertical for the vertical version. So this allows us to stream to desktop version and mobile version at the same time on different platforms at the same time. So this allows us to be streaming multiple places and multiple view sets at the same time. And so what we're going to do here today is walk you through some of the tools, some of the things that how it works, so that you can get a full understanding of how we set this up. Now, please know this is not an in-depth tutorial about exactly how to click every single button, but this should give you a good understanding of it. Is this the type of software you want to use? Now, I'm wearing a shirt, Ecamm. Like I said, it's one of my favorite tools because of the ability that it can do when it comes to creating a live show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some of the things that we're seeing on the screen, and then we're going to go set up some actual scenes and go through those scenes. Okay. So over here, This is a folder, and you see some scenes over here. This is the intro. This is what we're on now. And then if I wanted to go over to the desktop, this is what is seen on the desktop, and then I can go back. Right, so I just have these 3 scenes here now, and we're going to build out the others. Right, so I took some screenshots so that we would know what we're trying to build, so you can get an idea. And I'd have to share the screen so you could see that. Oh. All right, so this is kind of what we're going to build. This is our typical, our latest layout of the show. We have me and Jerry there. Where it says guest 1 is where Jerry would be. And then our logo. And then also behind that is a moving background, okay? So, and you see how it looks on, you'd see how it looks on the vertical screen as well, where I'm on top of the other scene there of Jerry where guest 1 would be, and then that's how that's how we set that up. So this is how we go back and forth between scenes right over here. And so now we're going to create one. We're going to just create that one that we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this plus sign. Well, before I do that, before I get into that, let me back up just a little bit. Let me share with you some of these things are so I can declutter this window. So this first one up here, this is our sound level, okay? And basically this is the microphone that's coming in, and you can see that how the level is that I'm speaking. And if I had a movie playing, or if I played a video, this would have that, you could see the sound there. And if I have guests or anything, we can monitor the sound there. So if Jerry's a little low, I can turn him up. If I'm a little loud, I can turn me down. So long story short, this is the sound effects window here. This one here is the scenes window. This is basically, yeah, I'm showing, sorry guys, I'm showing everything. I'm not showing everything. You are seeing everything. Okay, cool. So this is the scenes panel right here. And this is how we go from different scenes. So if you have an intro, which could be a movie, or a different layout of how the scene is laid up, you can switch back and forth between those right here. Over here, this is our sound effects. So if we wanted to have clapping on there, we can click on here. We have some other sound effects, and you can also add your own. So if you had music in there, you can add music and play that music. Please be aware that if you are streaming onto these platforms and you use music that is copyrighted, they are using AI now to just strip out the audio, and then they strip out all the audio, not just the music. So your stream will have no sound, right? Or if they catch it after the fact that it was streamed live, they'll cut out the sound. And so people trying to watch it on the replay, no sound. So be very careful about the types of music you have if you're going to use it. Sound effects, not really worried about that. Okay, so down here, this is a camera switcher. This one right here. So if we had multiple cameras, we could switch between different cameras if we wanted to. This is different from the scenes. To make it easy, scenes are better to manage if you just set up scenes first and just go between the scenes right here, okay? But you do have a camera switcher. If you have multiple camera angles and I wanted to switch to a different camera angle with this same scene right here, then I could use this to do that. We don't have multiple cameras at the moment, so we're going to take this out of here. This is Zoom. Now, Zoom is built into Ecamm. They came out with this late last year. And you can now basically bring people into your into your live stream from Zoom. So the end user just has to use what they're familiar with, Zoom, and then you can bring them in. So basically how I bring Jerry in is he joins the Zoom link we have for this show, and then I'm able to bring him in. So this is the Zoom link. Don't need that at the moment, so we can turn this off, okay? Camera effects. Inside of Ecamm, it has its own camera effects, which is pretty cool. So if I wanted to go turn off the live demo mode and go back to just what you see here as me, and I wanted to zoom in, I could use this to actually zoom in right here, right? So I could zoom in by using this here. So if I go back to sharing with you the live demo mode where you see everything, this is the zoom right here where I was just toggling in, and you can see it working right there. So that's how you can do that. There's also some other things you can do with the temperature and the brightness and the color. If you wanted to get granular like that and tweak the how it looks, you could do that. Um, but that's what the camera effects is for. Okay, I typically don't use it, but it is here. And the cool thing is you can use it for your guests who come in and zoom as well. So if you need to zoom in on them or change the tint because their lighting isn't right, you have the capability to do that here. Not that you have to, but again, you have the ability to do that. Ecamm also has its own interview mode where you can bring someone in that is not using Zoom. You can turn that on and they'll give you a link and you could use that as well. If you had network cameras, right? Let's say you had a security system and you know how those work through the network. If you had network cameras on your network, you could add those and control those from here. We don't have any network cameras, so we can get rid of that, but that's there. And then we have our comments. So this is where we can see comments coming in and where they're coming from. And I can actually see if it is coming from a desktop or a mobile device basically here. And we can see comments coming in from Facebook. If it's coming in from YouTube or IG, we can see them all here. So that's how we can see everything. And then I do have one more control. This one is not Ecamm specific, but this one is for the camera itself, right? So the camera, this particular camera, we will show it to you. All right, this particular camera, this is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. And this one allows you to have these controls that allow you to zoom in and out and actually follow you. Turn this back on so you can see it. So if I can grab this here, I can actually move the camera and the camera will actually move on a gimbal. Okay. So just so you know, you can do that there. And I will get this back focused on me right quick. All right, there we go. So the cool thing about this is you can save those presets on the camera if you want to. And then you can select which presets. So if you had different shots that you want, you could save them right there. So this is one we don't need, so I'll move that off the screen. So typically when I run the show, this is usually, the kind of layout I have on with just these windows. So I can always tell my sound is good. I can go through my scenes that I want to, and I typically will show in just a few minutes how we put those scenes on. We will put those scenes on the Stream Deck so I can just hit the buttons and control it from there. And so that's what I'll show you in just a second. So now that you've seen all the tools, what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time actually building out some scenes. So the scenes we're going to build are going to be for the show, which will have me and Jerry. So you'll see space for Jerry and we'll build different ones. And I'll show you how we go back and forth between the scenes so you can get an idea of how we actually run the show. So with that, we're going to jump back into live demo mode so you can see it. And then down here, I'm going to hit the plus scene, and this gives us a blank scene for both the horizontal, the vertical, and the horizontal. And so the first thing we do is we're going to start with the background. So the background we have is basically a video file. And so we're going to drop it here. And we are going to say add as an overlay. And so now we bring it here, and I'm going to duplicate it once so that we can have it twice, so that we can have the background on both the horizontal and the vertical. So I'm gonna move this over here for now, and then I'm gonna make this, attach this up with the edges so that I know the background is there behind the scenes. Now, the cool thing about this, this background is you can basically lock it, right? We're gonna lock the overlay so that it doesn't move when we add the other stuff. So we got the horizontal one there. Let's go ahead and get this vertical one, which just to stretch it out so that it's tall enough. Then we just drag it over the whole scene there. Okay, so what I did was I pushed it too far and I deleted it. So let's unlock this so we can copy it. Let's go ahead and lock this one back up. Cool. So now we have a background for both. I'm going to go ahead over here and lock this one as well. All right. So now that we have our background, all we need to do is add the camera shots that we want. And so we are going to hit this plus sign, which will give one of the camera shots, right? And so over here, we can choose what size we want, whether we want this to be a circle, whether we want this to be a square, right? And that's kind of, or sorry about that, or the 16 by 9. So if I was setting this up for me and Jerry for the intro show, this would be a square. I would basically copy and paste it, then drag it. That would give me 2. And then I would change this one from the video source being both me to let's just say camera B. We don't have a camera B. Oh, we do have another camera. That's interesting. So I'm going to leave it there for just now, for just both of us. And then we're going to center these for time's sake being, and we're just going to drag over the logo and drop it. Boom. So now once we have this, actually, let's do a different logo. If we select it, we can hit the X and we can drag over the other logo. There we go. And then we can shrink up the logo and drop it down like so. It takes a little bit of getting used to with all the things jumping around. And if you don't do it all the time, it can be kind of hard to grab stuff. Oh, come on, I almost had it. I'm trying to get to the corner, but it keeps jumping off. So for time's sake, we're just going to throw it there. You guys get it. Spend the time getting it right. So now we have the one scene, but we don't have the vertical. So we would need to create the vertical side as well. I'm going to jump this over here like so. And there is a better way to shrink these up. But for time, maybe I can do it over here. It is just not letting me grab it no matter what I do. And there is a way to select it so that you can grab it. And I just, no, we don't want to fill it. There we go. So boom, so we'll drop that there. Just copy one of these. Center it there. Copy another one of these. Again, when you have the guest there, you could just select the guest so you won't see 2 of them. However you want to lay that out, right? And so now you have the horizontal and the vertical, and this could be one scene, right? And so we're just going to call this scene 1 just for our viewing pleasure. And then we can lock this so that we don't make any accidental changes, but we can duplicate this scene and create another one. And so I'm just going to do that. This will allow us to duplicate it, this button right here. And so now we can come here. This one is unlocked and we can create a completely different scene. So we will get rid of this one. And on this one, we will put us, instead of squares, we're going to use this tall. Clicking over here and we'll say tall. And we'll make this one tall as well. And so again, this would be a different video, not 2 of me. And we could have something like this one, like this over here for the horizontal. And the horizontal would allow us to have extra content down here at the bottom versus no content. So we can do one like this, where this is the classic on this side. Shrink that up like that if we wanted to. And then we can add another camera by clicking the camera over here and making this one the different camera or the different person if you had a guest. In this case, I'm just going to give it the circle and make it small. And we can do something like this. We can do something like this. And then we can put up comments on the screen as well. All right. So now this could be another scene, and we're just going to call this scene 2. And so you see how you can lay out these scenes. And once you have the scenes laid out, you can then just go back and forth between the two scenes by clicking on them, right? And so now they go to the different scenes. As you click back and forth, you see it changes from the scene you have on the horizontal as well as you click back and forth. So if we are not in the demo mode where we're sharing everything, and you're just seeing the screen here, as I switch them, this is what it looks like on the scene side. So that is kind of how it works, setting up these scenes on the back end. You just set them up ahead of time, and then you don't have to build them live during the show. Obviously, you just click on them and it goes to the next scene, and no one sees all the what it takes to kind of just set it up. So when you have what you want or what you want it to look like ahead of time, then you just build out those scenes and you can go pick them and choose them. So the other thing that makes this a little bit easier is when you add in the Elgato Stream Deck, right? And so if I open it up, do I have it open? I do have it open. Okay, so we're going to share, and I'll show you how to set this up so you can see how to make switching of the scenes so much easier when you just have to click the button. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch it over to we're going to close the demo mode. We're going to go to the desktop. So here we go. So this is the Stream Deck. Again, this is a new computer, so there's nothing set up on here. There's no scenes. We are building these out as a way to show you guys how it's done. And then from here, this is what the buttons represent. And there is a Ecamm extension. I'm sorry, not extension. There's an Ecamm plugin that allows you to just plug it in. So we're going to hit the configure. I'm going to hit the configure, and it will allow us to choose what these buttons are. So if I click on these buttons with the mouse, this is what they are. So if I wanted, let's say, this button here to be the scene that we want, we can come over here to the Ecamm and we can find exactly what we want. And so every kind of feature in Ecamm is over here listed, and you can just drag it over. So if we wanted to find a scene, this is screen, we should be able to find a scene. I see next scene. We should be able to find a scene, but I'm not seeing it. Run scene, there it is, run scene, boom. We can drag it from here. So basically you just drag it over here, and then it allows you to select, and then you can then select the scenes from your show, the ones that we just set up in the folder. This matches what's on the folder on the other side. So we can have this one. This one brings it to just me. So we can click on another one and we can do run scene. And we can select a different scene. This is the one we just built. We can drag another scene over here. Where's run scene? And we can do the screen, which you're looking at now. So these are now the buttons on, and I didn't mess with these, but these are just the ones that were empty just to make it quick and easy. And so now if I click on this button, then I come up right here. So now I have these buttons right in front of me. And just to show you guys, right? So these are the buttons. And if I click on the button, boom, it's going to go to the other scene. And now we're in the other scene. And so that is how we set up the show, and we set up everything to run. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, or join our group. You can join at technologytuesday.com, and I'll be happy to share any questions that you have with that. So again, this is kind of just showing you guys what goes on behind the scenes. It is pretty cool to be able to simply do these things and run the show yourself. You don't have to be a tech whiz. You just have to set it up, and then you just go live and be consistent with it. And that is how you get a show for your own that is able to stream to multiple platforms in multiple formats for yourself. All right. So with that, I don't have an end scene, but what I'm going to do right quick in less than 2 minutes is I'm going to create that for you, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. So we're going to create a scene, and this is going to be called end. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag this to the bottom once it's there, because it's just a blank scene at the bottom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go find our end scene, and we're going to drag it on over and drop it there. And we're going to say full screen. Right. And then I hit that end scene over here, or I hit the button on the Stream Deck. If I set it up, then it will play that video, and then it'll end the live broadcast. And so that is how we run the show. Again, if you have any questions, join the group. We'd love to help with you, help you run your own show if you have any questions about that. Until next time, join us every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Technology Tuesday. Can't wait. Talk to you then. Have a great, prosperous, and profitable week. Take care.